subpoena power protects the whistleblowers, the eyewitnesses, and what it does is it allows for people not to be fearful of giving their factual testimony. In the original sham of a commission, they had subpoena power. They used it sparingly and used it only once on one public official, Condoleezza Rice, who also managed to lie to the American people. So we find people like Sybil Edmonds would be able to come out and tell us in a court of law, so it's written down on record, that Osama bin Laden did work for the United States government up until 9/11, and look how conveniently he's worked for us since.
Boy, a long list of people that you'd want to get in there. Well, this is the first step, so people can support it by going to NYCCAN, New York City Can.org, and, even if you don't live in New York, this is something that's going to benefit you. Man, you and Ted Walter and all your volunteers out there, everybody that I've been talking to for, this has been in play for about over a year, have really brought this to a head. So I hope we can we've gone to the 20-yard line. I hope we can, smell the goal line here and carry the ball in for the touchdown.
And I think we will with a continued team effort, with family members still signing on, showing their statement of support by people donating. We can really bring this to fruition. And what's fascinating is that, this type of democratic action that all of us have taken is exactly what We Are Change has inspired for so many of us. Right now, that's another organization I helped begin close to 3 years ago. We're having a benefit concert here in New York City for our first responders. All profits will go directly to first responder organizations to help those gentlemen and gentlewomen who went in to rescue and recover my uncle's body. Tens of thousands who are sick and dying today based on the lies the U.S. government told them. Over 800 first responders have already died from strange and unknown lung ailments and diseases. Why is that? Why are the heroes not being properly treated? This is what we're going to focus on tonight's event and tomorrow's event with We Are Change. Just go to wearechange.org/91109. And if you're in the area, come down and partake in another historical event.
It was great hearing both you and Willie Rodriguez call into the interview we were doing this morning with Yuki Fujita. Just great hearing your voice, and it just brought back the memories of you were the one that put together the meeting with Willie Rodriguez and John Schroeder on my radio program here about a year and a half or two, where John got to thank the guy that saved him, and I heard that they later met in person to talk about that.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Two superhumans, John Schroeder, Willie Rodriguez. Willie called in today. I called in a little later to speak with Mr. Fujita, another superhuman who has brought up the fact that the U.S. government's story does not corroborate what we see in the public forum, the wealth of evidence, the scientific, physical, empirical, substantiated evidence. Mr. Fujita, I had the pleasure of meeting about a month ago, and we spoke to him about NYC Can. We spoke to him about getting some family members together in Japan and letting them know that, this process could take place there too. And really, it's just a matter, think about it. Dozens and dozens of nations were affected. People from all over the world were murdered in the unsolved crime of 9/11. Yeah. Every single nation should have had an investigation. Okay.
I'm going to play those clips here in the second hour so my listeners can hear what happened this morning for 2 hours live on this very network. Manny, what's going on in New York today? You're at Ground Zero. What kind of turnout is there? I know you got events, anything you want to plug, but give us a sense of what it looks like, the turnout, what's going on up there.
Well, yesterday we began the annual We Are Change events. We had an incredible gathering off Broadway in Manhattan at INN Studios. We had learning workshops, educational workshops. We had speakers. We have turnout from all over the country. These are We Are Change chapters from all over the country, even throughout the world, that have come to New York. Today's turnout, we had a silent vigil down at Ground Zero. The weather here is nasty today. I'm talking winds at 30, 40 miles an hour. There were family members outside in this weather memorializing their loved ones. We listened to all the names being read. It's extremely heartfelt, and it brings everyone to tears when you hear these family members up on the stage telling just a little bit about their loved one and seeing the faces and the expressions on so many that have lost.
The stone-faced firefighters who lost their brothers, people like John Schroeder, they're all lined up in their best uniforms, buckles all shine. Manny, I've been out a couple of years myself, and it's just a life-changing thing. If anybody's listening to this broadcast, run up to New York City right now and join these guys. Where are the events tonight? Tonight,
the events are at Slate, which is on 21st and 6th Avenue. We're going to have some music. We're going to have some speakers. Tomorrow's events are just like they are every Saturday here in New York. We're going to be doing street actions, educational events outside on the streets, engaging people one-on-one. We're going to start at ground zero, handing out thousands of flyers, thousands of DVDs to curious Americans and foreigners, to people that critically think and have an open mind and can understand that it would be crazy 8 years later to believe what the government has told us, because what we've been told for the past 8 years has been this conditioning that just doesn't make sense, especially when you look at the evidence as it stands.
We've given them the evidence. The evidence is there. Now it's time for accountability. Manny Badillo, thank you for joining us in the program today. Again, folks, go to nyccan.org. Get behind this initiative to get this up on the ballot here for this November. Great job, Manny. I look forward to seeing you real soon. I'll be there with you guys today in spirit, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Jack. I look forward to talking to you soon, too. God bless.
Brother. Just all comes back to you, doesn't it, folks? If you haven't figured out at this point, I believe, as I have believed now for the last 8 years, 9/11 was an inside job. We're going to come back right after this, talk to Tom Kiley with INN News, a bevy of stars on the broadcast today. Stay with us. Deadline Live, AmericanFreedomRadio.com.